with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny B.
Show. It is Tuesday, November 13, 2018. Figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. Had to get my own notes to me. Took a long ass time. Hey, I'm ready.
Well, okay.
Everybody else ready?
Yeah, you betcha.
That's a nice shirt, Vinny.
Thank you.
It's very fancy.
Why you? So if I wear a plain t-shirt...
I'm not saying anything bad about it, Vinny.
If I wear a collared
I said it was a very nice shirt.
You start to giggle.
I'm only giggling, Vinny, because it's a very pleasant green color.
It's a little loud.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just...
I don't believe you.
There's nothing wrong with it. Look at what I'm wearing today. I didn't even put on a shirt.
That's a shirt, Brian.
I normally do. It's just such a pleasant...
Craig, do you think it's a pleasant color, or is he patronizing me?
I'm not bad. If I had one the same color, I'd wear it.
What?
There's nothing wrong with your shirt.
All right.
I was just struck when I looked up, and I was like, but he's wearing a nice, pleasant green shirt today. I thought I'd call attention to it.
Are you a fall or an autumn? I can't tell.
I can do nothing right here.
A fall or an autumn? Yeah.
I didn't make fun of your shirt. I didn't mock your shirt. I merely pointed out that it was a very pleasant green shirt.
Well, anyway, WWF Retro Raw number 338.
I got a lot to say before we even get started.
Do you have a tie to go with that shirt? I never wear.
Get out of here, Craig. Don't make fun of his shirt. What are you wearing? I don't even know what that is. I can't even read it. Can you read that?
It says Flight to Mars.
Get out of here. Anyway, who claimed that this week's Retro Nitro was worse than last week's?
I did. A lot of people.
Okay, well, it wasn't.
No, you're wrong.
Last week's was 10 times worse.
Yes.
Yeah, and like it's not even close. I mean, it's close.
This is a horrible show.
This was a horrible show.
There's so much bullshit on here.
Yeah. But, I mean, compared to last week...
I never lost my mind. If you're expecting a meltdown
Yes.
2 weeks in a row, you're not going to get it.
Yes.
You remember, you've seen Clockwork Orange, right? Vinny, you've seen Clockwork Orange, right? I confess I have not. I'm familiar with it.
What's your point?
It doesn't matter now.
Well, I mean, if the movie's good, you should be able to explain it
torture
without...
will be having my eyes pinned open and
Yes.
forced to watch this in a loop. See, I told you I'm familiar with it.
Okay, that was last week.
No, it's this week.
No, Craig, no.
Images of disturbing things flashing back and forth, back and forth.
Last week's...
This guy is tortured.
When I watched this week's show, I thought that fucking show sucked. And I will admit, I did get really fucking pissed off at the main event finish. Okay?
I don't even remember.
I do.
We'll get to
The
it.
disqualification and a disqualification match.
Okay, so those in that
That
show.
made me really fucking upset, all right?
Okay.
But overall, when the show was over, I thought that was a fucking terrible show. Last week when the show was over, I was convinced that it may have been the worst wrestling show I ever have seen in my life. I didn't feel that way after this one.
I believe I found myself questioning if it was my worst day of the year watching that Nitro.
Yes!
The thought crossed my mind.
This just may have been the worst day of the week.
This is just a bad wrestling show.
Sure.
Yeah. This show needs Ritalin is what it needs.
And as far as Raw goes, here's the thing with this Raw show. It is...
Offensive?
No.
But yeah.
Now, well, I mean, there was one very, very offensive thing on the show. That's true. But in general, Russo is gone, and we're now getting longer matches.
Yes.
Clean finishes.
Yes.
They're actually trying to wrestle.
It's become a wrestling show again.
Nobody gives a shit because they're not ready for that.
Right.
They're expecting that a match is going to be 2 minutes and it's going to be bullshit. So they're baffled by any match that goes 4 minutes. And they're giving it no chance. But the show it's still boring, but it's not offensively boring. It's boring mostly because the fans are bored. Like, if the fans actually would have gotten into these decent matches, it probably would have been a pretty decent show. But The only match they cared about at all was a hardcore match with The Rock. And that was the main event.
It's pretty good.
Everything else they didn't give two shits about. Now I'm ready, Vinny, for our actual review.
WWF Retro Raw 338, November 15th, 1999. Jim Ross informs us that at the Survivor Series the night before, Steve Austin was run over. He's gone for like 6 months now.
Well, at least. I mean, we know it's 6 months.
Honestly, it's hindsight.
But at the time, he was told you should never wrestle again.
Yeah.
Your neck is fucked.
Yeah. Also, the Big Show won the World Championship of the Survivor Series, which is news.
Excuse me, the Big Show?
He was not booked in the title match.
Huh.
There's not much explanation for how this all went down.
The Big... So Stone Cold Steve Austin, to the best of their knowledge, may never wrestle again. And so, their decision was,
Right.
let's put the title on The Big Show. Let's have the Big Boss Man pin The Rock in the middle of the ring. And that'll be our new title feud.
That was their idea.
Did you look at the numbers for this show?
I did not.
6.3 to Nitro's 3.2.
Yeah. Hey, it's closer.
How?
There's only 3 full points.
So DX comes out for a promo. Nobody, not Hunter, not the announcers, not Vince himself, nobody denies Vince McMahon screwed Triple H at this pay-per-view. The Big Show is champion because Vince screwed Hunter. And it occurred to me here as he's talking, it's November. It's the middle of November. Triple H has now won and lost the world title twice since August alone. So he runs down Vince for a while. Vince finally comes out. The best part of Hunter's promo, by the way, is watching Billy, Road Dogg, and X-Pac fight each other for camera time. Try to step in front of each other. Vince comes out, makes some sex jokes about Mr. Ass and the Road Dogg. He shows the crime Hunter committed, he says, against Steve Austin. So they cut to Survivor Series, or maybe before the show. Steve Austin is doing a promo.
It was in the middle of the show.
Middle of the show.
The middle of the show, by the way.
Do you remember what we did on the show, by the way, this day?
No?
We did a show for Tim in the lobby of a movie theater in Canada.
Oh,
With the spaceship on
yeah,
top.
the spaceship. I remember that.
Yes, and we all watched the show in a theater.
Yeah. I didn't know it was this show. How about
I think
that?
it was this show. Pretty sure it was this show. Anyway, yeah. So Austin's doing a promo when Hunter runs up and, like, punches him, but then stops to take a drink.
Yeah, because he had to spit something in his face.
Poor form. Oh, that was his plan?
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, he
I thought
runs
he
up
just-
to him, he hits him, he takes a swig of his drink, and he spews it in Austin's face.
I see.
And it's so random
Yeah.
that Jerry Lawler screams, what did he spray in his face? Like, it must be something. No, it was water.
That was water. That was weird. So Austin gives chase after him. And there's a point here where he's in the parking lot, and the camera zooms in on a car in the background before it charges. The camera charges. This was very well done.
Yes.
Because this is a one-cut thing. It's not
No cut.
Or, excuse me,
One continuous shot.
one continuous unbroken shot. Unlike the David Flair thing where it was very blatantly his stuntman getting run over a few weeks ago. And the camera is on Austin, and it pans over to the car, and a few seconds go by, and the car zooms in. Now you've had time for a stuntman to come in and take Austin's place and take the bump. And the camera follows the car away. Several seconds pass, and then it turns back, and now Austin's laid out. That was very well done.
Yes.
Except there was plenty of time for Austin to get out of the way.
Maybe he was drunk.
Yeah, he was confused.
I see. His reaction time was slow because of all the beer. So Vince blames Hunter for this. Hunter denies it. And then policemen come out. I wrote here cops and officers, which seems redundant. They come out to the ring to interrogate DX. Mankind versus Val Venus.
Here it goes.
They had plenty of time.
A fairly lengthy match that
5 minutes or so.
nobody gave a shit
I did.
about.
I cared.
Really?
It was a fun wrestling match to watch.
Okay. I was talking about the crowd in the building.
I fuck them.
They're the audience, Vinny.
I realized the idea is to make them happy. Get them to pay money. Anyway, yeah, they had time. They had a good brawl. They had a good finish. Mankind hooked the Socko Claw, and he beat him.
Yeah. Val Venus had burned some of Foley's books.
Mhm.
Foley, the babyface, was out for revenge. He secured his revenge, and it was a happy ending.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
I described
I
this
thought
match
I was
as
watching another promotion.
I described this match as refreshing.
Yes.
I just got to sit back and enjoy it, and not think about it.
And be pleased when it was over.
and not and be happy with the result, and not have to think about 47 different things and what's going to happen
So
next.
this feud is over, they'll never wrestle again.
Yes.
I hope so.
Okay.
DX is backstage making some very unfunny jokes with the crowd. Hunter puts the Vince says he's the one who hated Austin forever.
They're told in a very serious manner they are the main suspects in an attempted vehicular homicide. That does sound serious.
It does.
We'll find out if Rikishi is charged when the day comes. Attempted vehicular homicide.
Yeah, spoiler, everyone, it was Rikishi.
Yeah.
He did it for The Rock.
Can you imagine?
He hasn't even been on Raw yet.
You're right.
His crime occurred on Raw before he showed up.
Yes.
Stephanie and Test arrive. Luna is there. She says hi. She's happy for them. She has also found someone special. She got them a gift. It is a stuffed squirrel. By which I mean she went into a yard, killed a squirrel, stuffed it, and gave it to him.
I mean, that's what we're supposed to think, but it looked like just a squirrel. Like a of some sort. I actually have one very similar to this that Paisley plays with. So I was not as shocked as Test and Stephanie.
Godfather in making his Monday Night Raw debut, Kurt Angle.
Finally.
Maybe it's not a coincidence. This show got a million times better the week he shows up.
Yes.
So there in Pittsburgh, he gets extra booze.
Well, they had him come out before the show, bury him.
Of course. They're not dumb.
Make sure he got booed.
Godfather offers the women in exchange for a gold medal. Kurt is no dummy.
We're not that high end.
He says he's here to wrestle. He scolds the fans for cheering the Godfather and booing him. Godfather, by the way, the straight hair, not a good look.
No, I don't know what he was doing with his head.
So, in the middle of the match, the Godfather's making his comeback, and some guy appears at ringside with a sign reading "Worldwide Filth."
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
You know where this is going.
Oh, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do.
Fuck.
And the Godfather is distracted. He takes the sign away and breaks it, but then Angle grabs him as the Angle Slam and wins.
Yes, Rob.
So if where this is going is where I think is going is actually funny because I saw something on the Twitter machine the other day. Apparently somebody had interviewed Charles Wright.
That's the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Yes,
sorry.
the Godfather.
Sorry. And
Shoot name.
And this is going to come as a surprise to everyone. But apparently when they took the Godfather gimmick away from him to become the Good Father, he was very unhappy with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked.
I know, right?
They took away all of his hose.
Yeah, right.
And made him wear a tie.
Well, at the end of the day, he got a last laugh in.
He did?
Yeah, he started working the strip club.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Surrounded by women for 15 years afterwards.
Touche.
Own the strip club, not just work in.
I don't know if he owns it or not. Maybe he does.
So the cops go to
I've never gone there. All those times we've been to Vegas. Not one time have we gone there.
Which one is his?
I can't remember.
I have been to a strip club since I got married, so I don't remember which one. We went to a few in Vegas.
I'll take Bridget and myself there.
That's a good idea. It's a good plan. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
The cops go to talk to Vince after the break, where their discussion continues. Vince tells the cops that yes, he and Austin had their troubles in the past, but they had grown closer together. They ask, is it true that Steve headpan? Vince says, well, yes, there were a lot of attacks, but if you go back and watch the Survivor Series show, you will see I was watching on a monitor backstage. It could not possibly have been me. So they leave to go talk to Briscoe and Patterson. Chris Jericho versus Gangrel.
Yeah.
He's still around.
What?
I was stunned.
That's not just that, but it was Chris Jericho versus Gangrel.
Yeah. So Jericho failed to win the Intercontinental title at the Survivor Series, and
Yes.
he had sworn beforehand if he failed to win the title, he would get a sex change operation. So Luna's out with Gangrel, the special man she had talked about earlier is in fact her real-life husband. So Chyna and Miss Kitty come out to taunt Jericho for losing. They have bolt cutters to cut his Johnson off. Then they pull out itty-bitty scissors instead. They have birth control pills, Tampax, Summer's Eve. You're gonna need all these, they say.
God, it's just like it was 6 months ago.
Here's to the old boss.
Here's to Vince Russo.
I see.
We're gonna throw tampons at this guy. We're gonna threaten to cut off his dick. He's gonna lose to Gangrel.
Gangrel pinned Jericho.
Yeah.
Gangrel hit a Northern Light suplex,
Holy Christ.
the 30 Days Night suplex, and pinned him. I just made that up. So the Big Show, you recall, won the World Heavyweight Championship in a surprise title match appearance the night before.
Yeah.
This is his debut as world champion in this promotion. His first appearance on the show, he's just randomly walking the halls backstage. Yeah, that's his big entrance. He's just a guy. He may as well just bought a souvenir belt at the merch stand, put it over his shoulder. So he wants a match with Boss Man. Vince says Boss Man's going to face The Rock. You concentrate on keeping this title against he said who was going to be challenging show, and as I was typing, by the time I got to the end of the sentence, I forgot who he mentioned.
You know, it's funny. I did the exact same thing. I put 2 brackets there so I could go back over and fill in who he was talking about. Do you remember it was, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, there was an angle where Bob is yelling at Vince and Test, and a garbage can gets thrown, and it hits Stephanie. Yeah, Bulldogs I'm talking about, you jackass. Yeah. And anyway, I said, I don't remember this British Bulldog World Championship run in 1999.
No. Anything with the big show?
Now I know why.
Oh, it's over?
This was the culmination. This was his World Championship match here tonight.
Oh! I forgot it was Bulldog until you just said that.
And you know what's funny? I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but there's an angle with China and Chris Jericho on this show.
There is.
Did you remember this?
No.
Did you remember this?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't remember this. Craig didn't either, but that's okay.
No, I did.
Nobody fucking remembered this. And so you know what I did? I Googled it. And you know what comes up when you Google this?
What do you search for? What's the exact term?
I searched
Jericho
for
China thumb?
Jericho destroy China hand hammer. Okay? So, you know what comes up is like
I don't want to know.
article after article after article. All with virtually the same headline. 5 Attitude Era angles you don't remember.
Oh.
I totally remember.
Nobody else remembered either. Point of this is not my brain, Vinny's brain, anybody else's brain, okay? There's a reason nobody remembers the British Bulldog's return in 1999 in his quest for the championship. Because it was nothing. And I'm sure as we move on through the next few weeks of Raw, it'll be very obvious why nobody remembers Chris Jericho breaking China's fucking hand with a hammer in an interrogation scene. Just a bunch of shit.
Well, on that note, I'm not done with this segment yet. Because Vince dismisses the Big Show, his brand new World Heavyweight Champion. Goes to yell at DX for a while. He books Road Dogg against Al Snow. Road Dogg is utterly unconcerned. Books Mr. Ass against Test. And says Hunter is wrestling Kane. The cops meet with the Stooges.
This was great.
They admit that
No. We gotta start at the beginning. They first go to Briscoe. What can you tell us about Vince McMahon? Briscoe says, Mr. McMahon is a wonderful, honest man. He would never tell a lie. He would never do anything wrong. Patterson says, wasn't there that one time a long time ago? Actually, it wasn't even that long ago. I can't remember what the diabolical thing that Vince had done was, but Briscoe tells him, stop being a stooge. They get a huge argument. I loved it! This was the best interrogation of all. Briscoe is so awesome.
the cops had no idea what they were talking about and clearly do not watch Monday Night Raw.
No.
The Acolytes are playing cards.
What in the fuck was this? These 2 segments here.
Well, I'm not quite sure. Earl
Thank
Hebner
you.
lets them know there's some guys here. He says, there's some guys here to talk to you, but don't worry, we'll have security to take care of it. Which begs the question, why are you even telling them?
And not even that. What?
So
Some
apparently,
guys they've come to the building
here's what I gathered.
to talk to the Acolyte, and clearly they have a problem with them.
Yes,
And
right.
they're all the way in the building.
Yes.
Okay, something went wrong a long time ago.
Here's what I was able to put together from this after putting all these segments together. At the pay-per-view, the Acolytes did one of these segments where they went to a bar and beat somebody up, or went to backstage and beat somebody up.
Yep.
Those same guys have recovered from their ass-kicking last night and come to this building.
How'd they get into the building?
I don't know how they got into the building.
They weren't outside.
They were like in the parking area.
Yes.
They were not in the general public region. But regardless, they're here. So the Acolytes go to kill them again. Now, I'm not going to tell you, Brian, the storyline makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to tell you all these dots connect, or that every plot hole makes
Let me tell you what I saw happen. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Just 4 random dudes end up inside the building, like in the backstage area. APA goes, they beat the shit out of them.
Yes.
I believe we then went to a commercial.
Yes.
I then believe that the 4 guys that got their ass kicked then ended up in another area of the building.
Yes.
And then the APA beat their ass again.
Yes.
What? Can't they just go to a bar every week?
All I know,
Do they have to overthink this shit?
watching the Acolytes beat up geeks is the best gimmick of all time.
It is.
So I don't care if it makes sense. I don't
Well,
need an
it's
explanation.
more fun in a bar. It's more fun to take a field trip.
That's fair.
Random geeks ending up backstage at the wrestling show to get beat up is
As long as they get beat up,
beat them up outside. Beat them up at a park.
just beat them.
Beat them up in the parking lot.
Just beat them.
Beat them up
It'll
at
be fine.
Burger King. There's a million
But,
places.
okay,
Beat them up.
I can see these are all great ideas.
Thank you.
See, this is why I think they had to set up their own office. The Association of Bar Owners got together and said, hey, don't let these guys in your bar. So they had to set up the
Association of Bar Owners.
I just made that up.
I figured.
Okay. And so they had to make their own, premises to drink and poker and backstage area.
Who's paying them and why?
Who?
In storyline.
The Acolytes?
Yeah. They're just paid to just
Like half of these guys
beat
just
ass.
show up and don't do anything.
Anyway.
The
Let's
Big
talk about the Big Show versus the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith for the WWF Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw in November of 1999.
The Bulldog got into the ring and the Big Show grabbed him and a terrible chokeslam and pinned him.
Yes.
This was a squash.
You don't say.
This was a squash.
You should write a
You cracked
book
the code.
of wrestling definitions.
Unbelievable.
This was a squash.
All the posse got chokeslammed as well.
What a waste of my life.
Yeah.
And that's it, by the way. Big Show does not return. Hell of a way to get a new champion over. Cole interviews The Rock. The Boss Man has challenged Rock to a hardcore match for the top contender spot. So The Rock accepts the challenge, and he's being The Rock for a while, and then the cops arrive to interview him in the middle of this interview. And he's the biggest dick to these police officers.
Yeah, of course. He's the biggest dick to everybody, Vince. That's his gimmick.
But these cops have the ability to arrest him and take him to jail.
Billy clubs.
For what? Being a dick?
Yes!
I don't think you can arrest a man for being a
I'm
dick.
pretty sure you can to a cop.
They'll find something.
What could they find? He told them they were eating donuts?
He
Honest to God.
it doesn't matter what their name is.
That's a crime?
To a cop.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
Oh, fuck off. This is not an argument I'm going to have. You can arrest a man for calling you a donut eater.
That's not what you said.
That's what he called him.
Vinny said they wouldn't give him his name, and then you said,
Yeah, no, he said he didn't care what their name was.
whatever.
Right? Isn't that what he said? It doesn't matter what your name is?
Doesn't matter what your
That's a crime? That your name doesn't matter?
I'm saying, Brian, the cops would have found something to tag him on and take him to jail.
All right, you know what?
Yeah.
Continue your review. I know a cop.
All right.
I'm going to ask him right now.
All right.
Name is Vinny.
So, the car that hit Stone
Rob
Cold
knows. He knows I'm not making this up.
registered in The Rock's name. The Rock says he had reported his car as stolen. And they take his insults for several minutes. I won't lie, it was entertaining. I just didn't think you could get away with saying this kind of thing to a cop. And,
No. Well, I'm going to ask one.
so Jerry Lawler meets with the cops.
I'll even tell you exactly what I'm asking. If you're on duty as a cop, and I call you a donut eater, can you arrest me?
I hope he comes over here right now and arrests you.
Also, if you are on duty, and I ask you what your name is, and you are about to answer, and I scream, it doesn't matter what your name is, can you arrest me?
How about the fact that he wasn't cooperating at all?
He was cooperating a little bit. Let's get through these two questions first. What are you looking up, Vinny?
HG.org legal resources, which I don't know what that is. That's the first thing I can. Can I get arrested just for being rude to the police? The First Amendment protects your right to be rude to police officers, but that right is not unlimited. It doesn't mean you won't.
The First
It
Amendment.
doesn't mean you won't get arrested for mouthing off to a cop. Read on to learn more.
Oh, well, should we read on? Let's not.
I've had plenty of my friends arrested for mouthing off to cops.
Oh, we're gonna ask a real life legit cop.
What is sometimes
Not an
referred to
internet
as
gimmick cop.
contempt of cop often leads to a wrongful arrest and charges for disorderly conduct or breach of the peace.
Excuse me. Contempt of cop?
That's what it says. In quotes, finger quotes, contempt
Okay,
of cop.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Often leads to a wrongful arrest and charges for disorderly conduct or breach of the peace. unless you are threatening the police officer with violence or using fighting words
Yeah?
to incite a violent response, I would
He
argue
didn't do any of that.
it doesn't matter what your name is. It's not fighting words.
I mean, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel of fighting words. Doesn't matter what your name
I
is.
strongly advise everyone to be nice to police who are interviewing.
Well, I mean, you should be nice to the
victim of
police. I'm
homicide.
telling you right now. The point is, these cops didn't arrest him.
They did not.
That should end the argument right now.
That means they're bad cops.
Oh, these WWE cops that are paid actors didn't
Oh,
arrest him?
come on.
Anyway, Lawler
Real
meets
deal.
with him. He immediately stooges off Jim Ross. R-O-S-S. He's sure to make sure to get it down. And of course, Ross is watching this on commentary. What in the hell is he talking about?
I love that.
He is an ass. I laughed. Now, it was funny, but it was not funny to Ross. You recall last week when Kimberly was getting stalked by David Flair on Nitro and the announcers were laughing? Jim Ross had just been rounded off as a possible suspect to look into an attempted vehicular homicide case.
Yes.
This is not a funny matter to him.
Yes.
He's pissed.
The big question is, did Ross and Lawler do commentary at the pay-per-view? Were they sitting together when the incident occurred?
I don't know.
That would seem to be a strong alibi.
I am okay. My notes here got confused, but I figured out what's going on. Road Dogg versus Al Snow. Road Dogg comes out because he total babyface promo until the very end. So they do this match, and Lawler's returning the announce desk. Ross is pissed at him, asking what the hell's going on. Suddenly, Jim Ross starts talking about the deaths of Jim Ross' parents and his Bell's palsy attacks. What's going on? What does any of this have to do with anything? As noted here, I wrote match is okay, but nobody cares.
I wrote those exact words.
Yep. And the Road Dogg escaped the snowplow, hit the pump handle slam, and won. And this was his punishment from Vince, was to face a man he could beat and beat him.
There's a hole in Al Snow's game. He, at one point, hit Road Dogg with a body slam.
There sure is. Craig, go ahead.
A-hole. Please explain.
He hit Road Dogg
I
with
thought his game was airtight.
Right. That's fair. He hit Road Dogg with a body slam. His finisher is the snow plow.
Okay.
Just pick him up a little higher and drop him sideways, and you have the snow plow.
I'd never thought of that.
It's the exact same.
That is, in fact, a hole in his game.
Yes. Why he hit a body, not his finisher?
I never understood
I don't
why he
understand.
was not a bigger star. Now I've got it.
You know, I drove an hour here. Tonight I'm going to drive an hour home. I'm going to get a lot of less sleep.
Yes.
Do this stupid show with you, smart ass.
Just pointing out. Craig, how can I not comment when you say Al Snow has a hole in his game?
Brian, you want me to interject or not? You want me to say something? You want me to sit here?
I'm
I can
tears.
sit here.
To
You want me
tears.
to sit here? I'll sit here.
Go ahead, Vinny.
I'm not sure I can. So Al loses. He
That's funny.
he throws a tantrum.
A tantrum.
Do you think anyone's laughing besides you and me? Do you think anyone's laughing besides you and
No.
me? Al throws a tantrum. Out comes Mick Foley to calm him
Rob
down.
is.
So, Mick leads a sing-along. This goes on for a while.
For he's a jolly good fellow.
This had to be a rib on somebody. And then Mick out of nowhere announces they're going to Las Vegas together. And Al Snow replies by doing the twist.
They're going to party like it's 1999.
Yeah.
1999, Craig. You got it.
X-Pac taunts Kane. Says everyone's already fucked Dory.
What?
Well, it's
I
not
missed
his
that part.
exact words. But everyone else already has, was his exact words. Kane charges, it's a trap, and X-Pac and Hunter beat up Kane for a while. Chris Jericho grabs a cameraman.
Oh, fuck.
So, we get hostile here on Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho, we don't know how, but somehow he has abducted Chyna and tied her to a chair in a dark room.
Yes.
She's crying and begging for help. Cameraman just films it. Jericho wants him to admit that he is better and that he should be the champion. She refuses to do this. She says he's going to do whatever he's going to do anyway. And he says, well, you called my bluff. There's not much I can do. And then he smashes her hand with a hammer repeatedly as she screams and cries.
How? What?
Yeah. Torture porn here on Raw 1999.
This was hideously disturbing. What were they thinking?
I don't know. Test versus Mr. Ass was hideously disturbing.
Did we add that China was stretchered away with her hand bloody and massacred?
That happened, which may have had more of an impact. It wasn't like 3 weeks ago. She got pushed in a dumpster off the edge of the thing. It was all bloody and it was fine on SmackDown.
That's true.
Yeah. So Test is wrestling Mr. Ass. I don't want to alarm you, but nobody cares. Test wins with a sunset flip.
Yes.
Rib.
Yes.
A rib on somebody. On top of all that, Billy hits a Fameasser to Test's broken nose. And the only other thing I can add about this is...
It's going to suck for those wedding pictures.
It is. Also, well, I'm assuming he's wearing a jacket, but Test has so much acne on his arms.
On his shoulders, on his arms, all over his body. It's disgusting. Also not going to be good for those pictures.
No.
Because you know he's wearing a sleeveless tuxedo.
Of course. Like all men.
Yes.
Had an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger after his appearance on SmackDown, which, as I recall, was actually great. He was awesome at that show. So he's doing this interview. The interview's after the fact. And he's just sit down some Access Hollywood or something. And he's talking about, all of that was a lot of fun, he says. And as he says this, there's a shot of him dropping Triple H with a backhand. A lot of fun. I laughed. Triple H versus Kane.
Just a match. Vince is on commentary. Just gets in the ring for the DQ.
I thought this match was funny just because Hunter was so blatantly being Ric Flair.
Yes.
Not even hiding it. A bad Ric Flair, but a Ric Flair. So, yes, Hunter pie faces Vince, and Vince hits the ring for a DQ, and that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Why did we even have Triple H versus Kane?
That's a great question. This is Vince's idea of punishment.
He punished me.
The Big Boss Man versus The Rock in a hardcore match. A lot of crowd brawling. The crowd loved it. Rock hits a rock bottom on the ramp, but then Prince Albert attacks. Lawler points out it's not a DQ. So...
And you know what? It wasn't a DQ.
It was not a DQ here in this hardcore match.
This no disqualification hardcore match had someone run in, and it was not a disqualification.
So Rock fights back against both dudes. He hits the People's Elbow on the Big Boss Man. Albert breaks up the pin, and then the Rock turns around, and Bubba hits the Bubba Slam, and the Big Boss Man pinned the Rock.
One Boss Man slam. Steve Austin may never wrestle again. The Big Show is the WWF champion. The Rock got pinned. It wasn't even like Albert gave him the A-bomb or whatever that fucking move was that he did. What do you call that stupid thing? Where he lifted him up and did that? A-bomb?
Sure.
It's not like he gave him the A-bomb and then the Boss Man hit a Boss Man slam and then he hit him with a chain.
Yeah, chairs in the ring, kind of waffled 2 or 3 times. No, you should have ever waffling over the chair, but...
Rock turns around and he eats the ugliest Boss Man slam, by the way. Boss Man didn't even spit him.
Yeah.
Just dropped him and Rock just lays down for 3 seconds. Then he jumps to his feet and he beats the shit out of everybody. All these random geeks hit the ring. Everybody's gigging. Rock's destroying everybody with a chain. It's like, why did you beat this guy then?
I don't know.
What are you thinking? Why does The Rock have to be beaten on every fucking show? So anyway, that was it.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your music, Vinny?
I sure am. It'll be very short.
All right. I don't know where your music is.
Should I just go?
Nope.
The finishes on this show were clean submission, pin after distraction, pin after distraction, clean pin, clean pin, clean pin, DQ due to run-in, pin after interference in a hardcore match.
How many clean pins in a row was that, Vinny?
That was 3, Brian.
3 clean pins in a row?
The first in 99, I'm sure, on either show.
Holy
Actually,
fuck.
I think Nitro, that one show, there's all clean finishes. But...
Is that really all that it was? I thought it was like 5.
No, that was
Foley and Val Venus. Angle Godfather.
interference or distraction.
Oh. Well, it was still relatively clean. Okay, let's talk about Nitro. Craig, are you going to participate now?
I suppose.
All right.
WCW Monday Night Show number 217, also November 15th, 1999.
How could you not?
You'll have to,
I'm going to do my big segment count at the end, by the way.
you want to tally it as we go, or
No, I'm going to do it at the very end. The record is 57 segments. I consider a segment anytime we go from one place to another.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So if we go from Ric Flair walking backstage to Kevin Nash walking, that's 2 segments.
Got it.
Okay.
So the show opens with Pyro and Ballyhoo. And by Ballyhoo, I mean Tony Schiavone outright says this is one of the most important nights of 1999. We're going to find out the 4 dudes fighting for the title at Mayhem.
I can't wait.
This show opened for reasons that are still unclear to me. Norman Smiley versus Jimmy Hart in a hardcore match.
Yes.
Now, this is not stupider than anything that happened on last week's show. It may have been worse. Norman comes out in a full football uniform with the biggest shoulder pads I've ever seen. May have been 2 sets of pads on him. Jimmy Hart has a full suit of armor.
Yes.
Like a knight.
Yes.
They hit each other with shit, but they're wearing armor, so it doesn't hurt, and everyone has a good laugh. For like 10 minutes.
Yes.
It was like 3, maybe, but it went forever.
You know, when I saw this match open up the show, Norman Smiley in football gear versus Jimmy Hart in a suit of armor, I thought everyone was right. This show is going to be much worse than last week's show. But then they're having this match. Knob comes out. Knob comes out. He starts beating up people.
I hate when my knob comes out.
Stuff a table. Knobs and Norman chasing each other with gimmicks. You know what? The fans are going crazy.
They are.
They loved this match. Jimmy misses a splash through a table. Norman pins him. The
Jimmy
place goes,
Hart went through a table.
hey!
I was amazed the table broke.
All I gotta say is, I thought this was dumb. But these fucking fans thought this was like a WrestleMania semi-main event. So what the fuck do I know?
It worked in the building.
I give it a thumbs up.
Show. Of course people are going to cheer.
I give it a thumbs up.
So after the match, Knobs hits Norman in the head with the stuff a lot. Now there's something that makes absolutely no sense. Like every word of this contradicted something. Mike Tenay is interviewing Kurt Hennig, and he explains, the powers that be are frustrated by their inability to retire you.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
So, because they can't retire him, they are forced to keep booking him in matches. Now, here's their grand idea, everyone. They want to get rid of him once and for all. Book him against Goldberg. Or if he loses, per the steps we've had here, if he gets pinned, he must retire and he's gone forever. But if he wins, he gets a new contract and he's around forever.
Yes.
Why would they do that? That makes no sense.
Well, I think the idea is that they're so convinced that there's no way this man can beat Goldberg that it's just double or nothing.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb.
Why don't they just fire him?
Why don't they sign him to a match where he can only win or lose via pin?
They could do that. Why don't they just not put him on TV?
Why don't they just say if you lose via any manner, you're out of here?
Or win. Just fire him.
This is a very dumb storyline.
It's horrible. Speaking of horrible and illogical, nonsensical things, Kimberly shows up to work again. Every time she comes to work, a maniac tries to kill her with a crowbar. No one ever helps her. Stay home.
You know,
Her job sucks.
It is funny. We never even mentioned this last week when we reviewed the show. There was no reason for her to come to Nitro.
No.
I mean, she wasn't in one segment.
She did have 50 of them, but
She's already quit the Nitro Girls.
yes.
She has literally no role, but she came to work solely to be chased by David Flair.
Yes.
This is dumb.
Craig is pondering saying something. Choosing his words very carefully.
Well, yeah, I get, torn up otherwise.
Get out of here, Craig.
Never happened to me.
I know. So she hits David Flair with a car.
Right.
Runs him over.
Yes.
She shows up the next week.
Yes.
And they play Roadrunner and Coyote
Sort of, yeah.
for most of the show. And she came back
A week later.
a week later.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's stupid.
It sure is.
Well, she's
It
being
sure
paid.
is.
She has no job. She already met with the powers that be. They didn't really have anything for her.
Yeah, they did. They have a match for her at Mayhem.
Understood. What does that have to do with Monday night?
Well, maybe she's coming to plead her case not to have the match.
Okay.
I have no idea.
So she shows up, she talks to the Red Rooster, he tells her good luck.
Yeah, Terry Taylor's back.
Was he gone?
He was with WWE. wasn't he?
What?
He
No.
was backstage. Terry Taylor was doing those terrible fucking robotic
right.
interviews.
Like a month ago.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Holy cow.
I think he wanted a raise. They said, fuck you, so he came here.
Well, they got one.
It was a
Yeah.
package deal with Dr. Death.
Yeah,
May have
Terry Taylor's
been.
here.
May have been. So Kevin Nash has been doing these gimmicks where he teases. There's backstage segments where he's getting dressed up and teasing in the big reveal. And the big reveal is he comes out on stage. He's dressed as some wacky character. They just cut backstage. He's just dressed up like Sid.
Hey, at least it was patently obvious who he was this week.
It was good.
They put a Frankenstein mask on him.
The biggest chin and biggest brow you ever saw. And the wig actually looked like Sid's hair too.
He looked like Sid this week.
He did.
Yes.
Mike
All right.
Tenay,
So AC Jazz quit.
Out of the Nitro Girls.
now,
They wanted AC Jazz and Spice to do a mud wrestling match.
and AC Jazz quit.
AC Jazz wanted nothing to do with this bullshit, and she quit.
Okay.
But we must have the Nitro Girls battle. So therefore, Tigress is the new AC Jazz.
So they pulled the fuse on AC Jazz. Good.
Craig, please.
So, yes. Spice is doing an interview, says AC Jazz, they no-show today. As of today, she says, AC Jazz has left the Nitro Girl.
Oh, she hadn't left last week when she turned on all of them and beat their asses.
Some strange figure ran in and attacked her and a brawl broke out.
I think it was Fire. No, Tigress. Or was it Fire?
How do you know?
I saw the back of her head.
It was a woman. I can confirm it was a woman.
Tigress is the African American lady.
Okay?
Okay.
And I wrote Fire, but I think
got
it's
the red hair.
Tigress.
It's got the red hair.
What about Charmel? Is she Tigress or is that another?
That's not none
different
of
one.
them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was actually Tigress.
All right.
But I wrote Fire.
Anyway, at this point I wrote, I hate this show.
Okay.
That could have been Fire. They were going to use Tigress. They eventually did.
Doesn't matter.
Vinny, please. These women have names.
Spice and Fire and, Tigress.
Yes.
Okay.
It's important to know. It's important to differentiate them.
The Outsiders come out for their promo. So
This is it.
So Nash has his makeup on, right? He's got the plaid flannel with the sleeves torn off like Sid and Bigwood. He's got the big chin. He's got the big the forehead eyebrow thing. He's got the wig. He's all bowed up and he's flexing his neck to get the veins to pop out. He's all being Sid. And Hall's talking about he's got to fight Sid, but he knows Sid's a dummy. And Nash, as Sid is talking about how stupid he is, Tony Schiavone says, they're making Sid out to be an idiot. He cracked the code.
Painfully unfunny this was.
Solved the puzzle.
Painfully unfunny.
This went on for a long time.
Here comes Sid to prove him right.
A long time. And Sid finally appears. Now, we've been wondering all year how it's possible that Sid won worst on promos in 1999. This one line may have done it.
Did you write it all down?
I only wrote down the most important one.
I wrote it all down.
All right, go ahead.
So Sid comes out. He says they screwed him. They tried to make him look like a jackass. It all stops tonight. Nash can wear any Halloween costume he wants, but, quote, you know, and I know, that you are only half the man that I am. And I have half the brain that you do. Hall is crying in the ring.
So it's Nash. You just can't tell with the makeup.
Sid says, you made me look like a jackass, but it stops tonight. Once Nash's chicken shit ass out of retirement, if you got the balls, which I doubt, I will show you who the master is. Nash says, I'm retired. Sid begs him to be a man, not a clown. Then he just plays music.
Yes. It was established here.
Now, I was recently on the internet,
What?
and I saw a shoot interview with Sid. And it was long.
Riveting. Do you want the whole thing?
No, I could not watch the whole thing.
You're talking about softball.
I can't remember why I even was watching any of it. But I think it's because I was so enamored with Sid from these Nitros, I just wanted to hear a little bit of it. And I could have sworn that he claimed that all of this shit was written for him by Russo. I could be wrong about this.
That would not
okay?
surprise me one bit.
I'm not trying to... He seemed to indicate that he was told to say all of this stupid shit, and he didn't understand why he was being made out to be so dumb.
I'm skeptical.
And maybe he was this dumb, but I mean, now let's be honest, let's be completely fair here. Before Russo showed up, he had some fucking good promos.
Yes.
Including one that we thought was a great promo. Now, Russo is here, and he's coming out and saying dumb shit every week.
Plus, Vince Russo's gimmick is that every wrestler's gimmick has to be that they're not a star.
So I don't know.
They have to be lazy or stupid or useless or boring or whatever. So Sid's gimmick is now that he is stupid.
I don't know. All I know is that's what he indicated.
It was actually honestly my first thought. Like, because he said it so clearly. He just stumble over his words and get confused.
No.
He
didn't have that look on his face when you say something really stupid and you realize it.
This was not when Sid said, "I need to do that again," and Jim Ross said, "We're live, pal."
Yes.
This was not that.
No.
This was, he had a line, he delivered with passion. I think the outsiders, they reacted the way they did because they couldn't believe he actually read the stupid line.
Could be.
I think they were prepared for it, but not prepared for it.
He also had a Mr. Nash in there.
Mr. Nash.
Still very polite, no matter who's writing for him.
Southerner.
Mike Tenay interviewed Booker T, who is facing Gerald and Patrick tonight. His team of creative control.
Like, as soon as he said those names, I was like, Patrick and Gerald? That's their fucking names?
Yes.
Then it hit me. That's the Stooges.
It's the Stooges.
Jesus Christ. Anything else?
He identifies the mystery woman's name as Midnight.
Actually, he didn't. He only said that midnight would strike sooner than later, and we got the Tenay face.
I think Tenay asks, is that woman? And
What does that mean?
that actually looks like a disturbing version of Mike Tenay.
Thank you. Watch a lot of Tenay on Nitro.
Yes.
And Impact.
Here's a whole segment. Kim goes to see the powers that be. Go to commercial, we come back.
She's with the powers that be.
Yes. She tells the powers that be she is not a wrestler. He, Vince Russo, says, you are under contract, you've quit the Nitro Girls, you gotta do something. You are going to wrestle David Flair at Mayhem, and you're going to wrestle Asia tonight.
Sounds like the real meeting that they had with AC Jazz.
May have been, actually. And he says there'll be a special ref. Tells creative control to take out Booker T. At this point, Kevin Nash, still dressed as Sid, arrives.
He just walks in and sits down with his mask on.
Yes. Booker T versus creative control. Before the match, because every wrestler has a gimmick has to be that he sucks, Chavo Guerrero tries to sell Amway to Booker T during his entrance.
Yeah. Surely he's got money on him. Tucked in those trunks.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm a fair man, and I'll say this on a bad show run by bad people. Booker T worked his ass off on this match.
Yeah, this match was fine.
He had a great match with
creative control.
The heresies.
No wonder he got the world title.
Yes. So, he worked his ass off. They had a great little handicap match. It was believable that this man could beat up two men. And then finally at the end, there was two of them and one of him. And he hit his missile dropkick, but they broke up the pin. They hit a double slam, and they pinned him. They kept beating him up. The lights go out. Midnight's dong goes off.
I was going to say, it was Midnight Dong.
Yes. Don't Google that, anyone.
I'm sure it's an adult film somewhere.
So she's in the ring. Big, strong, muscular woman, and she's...
Look at Brian feverishly looking for it.
Just got to see what comes up.
As it were.
Something wrestling related.
Wow, how about that?
There's literally a video of some dude in a wrestling ring, and it's a haiku, Midnight Dong.
Hey, haiku.
Brian,
Oh, here's the first thing that comes up. Amazon.com. Jock Dong with balls, 11-inch dildo. Really? That's on Amazon.com?
Yes. Why would it not be? They'll sell anything.
I was unaware that that sort of stuff was sold on Amazon.
They have them on Groupon.
Really?
I'm not lying.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Good.
I've had 18 different ideas. I'm not gonna say any of them.
I'm clicking this.
You interested?
It's gonna be the wrong thing on my search history.
Christmas is coming, you know.
I just need to see what it looks like.
That's too easy.
All right, so what are we going to put the over-under at how many of these come?
Excuse me, where's your flag?
Sorry. I was going to say, what are we going to put the over-under on how many of these come for the Christmas show?
Excuse me? Wrong choice of words, Rob.
That's why I said
Whoa,
easy.
oh, shit. That's big. And there are customers also shopped for.
Other reviews.
Adam and Eve Jelly Slim Anal Starter Dildo. I waited till Rob was taking a drink to read that on the air.
Granny, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this, I'm so sorry.
Frisky Silicone Realistic Suction Cup Mini Dildo. Oh my god. sex flesh veiny Victor. 8.5-inch suction cup. Okay, seriously, this is actually a serious question, okay? So they're selling this damn thing. Okay. I'm gonna read this sentence, alright? Then we're gonna get back to Nitro. But I just gotta read this.
We have to.
PVC dong with balls has a realistic look and feel. What? PVC! How could that have a realistic feel? Let's move on.
So Midnight's in the ring. She has no idea what's going on, but
This was Craig's fault, by the way.
what did I do?
He warned me not to Google it.
And then
You should know better than to do that.
The three pro wrestlers
Don't give
spoon
me a
fed her
raise.
through this segment, and they cleared the ring, and everything went fine. Backstage, Brian Knobbs and Jimmy Hart are yelling at each other. Why? I don't know. In the background, the Barbarian
split
and Jerry Flynn are yelling at each other. Why? I don't know. Bill Goldberg arrives.
Yep.
Russo is upset that Creative Control got beat up by a woman. Barry's on time for this, degrading them as much as possible, and women as much as possible. Barry's all their old gimmicks, threatens they won't get over again. Johnny Boone versus Evan Courageous. If you don't recognize the name,
Fuck, was this amateur hour?
What was the name of that?
Jesus God
What was
almighty.
the name of that John Morrison movie you just did?
Boone the Bounty
Boone the
Hunter.
Bounty Hunter.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Johnny and Boone. Anyway, go ahead.
So all you need to know, everybody, is Johnny Boone's a ref.
He's the ref who beat up Evan last week.
Evan Courageous is a fucking wrestler.
Supposed to be.
This ref is beating the shit out of fucking Evan Courageous. And Medusa's on commentary.
Yeah.
Medusa is doing sultry commentary. She may as well have been reading that Amazon right
So
there.
she's out there showing off her thighs and implants.
And as Johnny Boone is kicking the ass of Evan Courageous, she hits the ring to make the save.
Yes.
She puts Johnny Boone's face in her boobs.
Yes.
Check. She shoves him into a schoolboy. Evan pins the guy. On a fucking fluke, he barely pins his referee.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
He should have lost by DQ.
This was beyond atrocious.
This is awful.
This sickened me to...
Hey, you know what else is awful? Vince Russo meets with luchadors.
Oh, yeah, they're all poor.
They're all poor, broke, pathetic,
Mexican.
useless, and Mexican. He's a Mexican, you see, so he carries a pinata with him everywhere he goes.
Yes.
All over.
Why not?
Just has a pinata.
Well, I think they mentioned it was someone's birthday, to be fair.
So Russo says we're going to do a pinata on a pole match. The winner gets $10,000. Fine. Steve Williams arrives accompanied by Oklahoma. Yep. For those of you who don't remember, Oklahoma is Ed Ferrara doing a Jim Ross impression, emphasizing all his Bell's palsy.
Emphasizing his Bell's palsy.
Yeah. Yes. That's what he's doing.
Yep. You know, you just go out there and pretend you're Jim Ross. Whatever.
Sure.
People, fucking Nash is Sid and he's Vince. He's been playing people for weeks. Do you have to mock the guy's fucking Bell's palsy?
Don't have to.
I know we're ranting about this 19 years after the fact, and we've been bitching about it for 19 years, but fuck, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this.
Now,
Jesus.
remind me how this timeline went. Did Ferrara ever go back to Raw?
I don't remember.
He was, at some point, he was doing this character in a Monday Night Raw ring, and out come Jim Ross and Dr. Death.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, I think that did happen.
And, well, it clearly happened, because Death, well, may as well have been, Doc, hit a German suplex that folded. It was much worse than any of the suplexes Brock Lesnar hit on Raw this week. Ed's nose ended up between his sternum.
When the fuck did that happen?
He broke a few ribs. So, I don't know if it happened before or after this, but whenever I see them together, that's what I think about. Brian, you look for that.
On
I'm
Raw,
looking for that right now.
didn't Jim Ross have his Bell palsy attack this year?
Yeah,
Well, it hasn't happened before that.
I guess not. Creative Control is looking for Tori Wilson. Juventud Guerrera versus Psychosis versus Silver King versus El Dandy versus El Villano in a pinata on a pole match. They all have sticks to hit each other and eventually hit a pinata. As noted, there's a $10,000 check of the pinata. I timed it. The match went 12 seconds before the pinata fell off the thing. And Liam. So they're doing stuff. Dr. Death in Oklahoma come out. He's putting over all of Dr. Death's legit credentials like it's supposed to be a joke and a parody. Only all it does is tell you what a badass he is.
Right.
If this is supposed to be funny or stupid, it failed. There is a shot of Oklahoma on camera that I swear to God is longer than most matches on Nitro in this era. He's just on camera talking. So at some point, the luchadors realize, hey, this fucking pinata is not hanging up. And instead of just whacking it with a stick and taking the check, they take turns trying to hang it back up.
So bad.
Eventually, Hoovy gets the pinata, he shakes it, he can't find the check, and then Steve Williams attacks for the disqualification. A disqualification in a 5-man pinata on a pole match.
All right, so I think that this Oklahoma deal was on Heat
Explain why we didn't see it.
before he left for WCW.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
clearly he forgave Doc for suplexing his head off.
I guess
Or his head into his
that's pretty fucking brutal right there.
Oh yes.
Although if you watch Raw on Monday, it's the exact same bump the poor Singh brother took when Lesnar.
I watched it one time.
Oh.
That ankle. Like,
Brutal.
yeah.
All right, there you go.
So Doc destroys everyone. He steals the $10,000 check, and that's the end. Because you got to make sure, everyone, that all the small men get beat like fools.
An all-time horrible segment I wrote.
Monday interviews Goldberg. Says there's nothing personal against Kurt Hennig. He's going to do his job. He's going to show the world who Goldberg really is. Tanay interviews Nash, who is facing Sid in a street fight tonight, coming out of retirement.
Yeah, Tanay just nonchalantly mentions, your retirement has been waived. Kevin Nash says, it was a retirement angle.
Yes.
This place sucked.
To use those words, retirement angle.
Yep, I decided I was going to take time off until it got fun again. Hall came back, it's fun again. And Sid should not have woken a sleeping giant. Do we really need this promo?
No.
Dumb.
He's totally out of care. He's in his costume as well now. Just for continuity.
Goldberg versus Kurt Hennig. So Goldberg is doing his entrance. Or from backstage, he leaves his locker room, he's got the security all around him. And as he's about to turn down a hallway, Hennig slams a door in his face. Ha ha! A cunning plan! And then he opens the door and finds out, much to his horror, Bill stopped walking.
He should have known better than to try to attack Goldberg's head.
With the door.
Yes.
Goldberg's head versus doors is undefeated.
Yeah, and surge machines.
Yeah, the pop machine.
And search machine, as we later find out. So they brawl backstage for seriously like 5 minutes. They're brawling backstage. They get out to the stage, not the ring, to the stage. The bell rings. Several minutes pass. Finally, they get in the ring. None of this is a count out or a DQ. Now, I will say this: it was a pretty good brawl, and as Hennig's working him over, the crowd's way more into it than they are most Goldberg matches.
Yeah, they were super into this. They were super into so much stuff on the show. That's why it was better than last week.
Especially most Goldberg matches where he sells this much. They're usually awful. This
They're
was very good.
chanting for him to make a comeback.
And suddenly, Goldberg fires up, hits a rolling knee bar, and Kurt Hennig taps out and submits.
Yes.
But he didn't get pinned.
The best part of this is the moment he taps out, Bobby Heenan freaks out. He thinks Hennig's career is over. It's done. He lost. Tony goes, he wasn't pinned.
This is fucking stupid.
Bobby Heenan's like, oh yeah, has to be pinned.
Why doesn't he just submit every week?
That's a great.
Walk into the ring.
If you're down for
tap out.
2, tap out.
Jesus.
It's historically stupid.
So Goldberg, at least to send the fans home happy, he hits the spear in the jackhammer after the match. Place goes crazy. They have not fucked up Goldberg yet.
Not yet.
Kimberly is backstage alone. Again, why? Why would you be backstage alone after the last time you were backstage alone and Maniac chased you for 3 hours? At this point, she deserves to get beat with this crowbar.
Oh, Vinny.
Terrible thing, isn't it? So the lights go out, but Hacksaw's in there. I'm just still trying to figure out why she's at work at all.
He's the janitor.
Creative Control tells the filthy animals they need to see Tori. They say we have not seen her. There's jokes about how they're going to get fired, and they say, oh, we thought you said Dory, and they leave.
Aha!
Hacksaw needs a fuse to put the lights back on in that room Tori was in. Chavo is there to sell him some fuses. There's jokes about fuses.
Okay, this next segment.
I'm with you.
Vampiro comes down to the ring, and he's with 3 or 4 misfits. I forget how many were there. It's either 3 or 4.
Okay.
Next, out comes Berlin. He is flanked by The Wall.
Correct.
Okay? A match begins, and Berlin and Vampiro are wrestling each other.
Right?
Suddenly, Vampiro gets on the apron and tags in a misfit.
Yes.
Then the Wall's in there. Then 4 fucking misfits are in the ring. What the fuck was this match?
It took me, I was with you. I went through the exact same process you did. Here is the conclusion I reached. I may be wrong, but here's the conclusion I reached. This was a tag team match, right? Where the misfits all counted as one guy.
Yes.
So,
Like the Freebirds, except worse.
except much worse. So, when
No. The Freebirds could at least just... It was always a tag match.
it was,
You could just choose which 2 were going to defend the titles.
oh yeah.
This is 4 fucking guys on the apron
Right.
facing 2 men.
So when you tag any one of them in, they're all allowed to hit the ring together.
Dude, I hate this show.
It's awful. It's a terrible show.
It's still better than last week.
You know what? This is. You're probably gonna say this is not even worth worrying about. These morons couldn't even get on opposite corners for this tag match.
Yeah.
They're both on the side away from the hard cam.
Yes.
So the misfits tag in. They all hit the ring against the wall. The wall kills them all and they vanish forever. So they may as well have been one guy. Now it's Vampiro fighting from underneath 1-on-2. Even though it was 4-on-2 advantage his team, now it's 1-on-2. He's the underdog. And then it gets much, much worse because you see the worst gimmick in the world races his ugly head when the tag team partners can't agree on who's going to get the pin. So
Yeah, we're already breaking up Berlin and the Wall.
yeah.
It's been like 2 months.
I think this is the first time he's got a name.
And this was the
Yeah.
first time they ever gave him a name.
He's the Wall now.
It took him that long to give Berlin's partner the name The Wall.
So they keep doing moves, breaking up pins. It goes on for a long time, and finally Berlin just lets the Wall win with a chokeslam. Everyone here is a geek, I wrote.
And Vampiro, years ago, he was on our show, and he noted that I never learned to take a flat back bump.
Yes.
He worked in Mexico. He took all the rolling bumps and everything like that. Comes to WCW, he's forced to just bump on his back. He doesn't know how. What do they do to this poor fucking guy? He's like being thrown off the top. He's just choke slammed. This is why he almost got killed against Mike Awesome. Someone decided, hey, let's have Mike Awesome powerbomb this fucking guy off the top rope who's never learned to take a flat back bump. Just another thing here in this war.
So 10 minutes ago, Goldberg was in the ring. Cut backstage where Goldberg is still, like, taking his tape and gloves off and stuff. Shivani loses his mind. Goldberg's still here. What's he doing? Is he supposed to go from the ring outside to a running car and peel off?
Yeah, you don't stay for the whole show,
That's what Buddy Wayne would do.
especially this show.
That's true. You've got me there. Russo meets the Tori Wilson, orders her to put a bikini on.
Thank you.
Sid versus Rick Steiner.
Sid versus Rick Steiner?
Apparently on Thunder, Sid and Rick have been doing some kind of program. They don't like each other now. They were friends for months.
And isn't Sid wrestling in the main event?
He mentioned this. He did say when he challenged Nash, I already have a match tonight, but I still want to fight you two. So he
Wow.
did.
So somebing actually made sense. Okay,
Did at
I'll
least-
take that.
Yeah, he acknowledged that. Anyway, they brawl up on stage, and Sid powerbombs into the stage, and that's that.
All that stuff they did with Rick Steiner, making him out to be such a badass. He's just carted away. They spent an hour putting him in this damn ambulance.
A long, long time. They spent so long strapping him to this backboard and taking him to this ambulance, I figured somebody's got to attack him. They wouldn't stay with him this long if nothing happened.
Nope.
Then nothing happened. Janae interviews Sid. He said he has 2,000 ways to put Nash back into retirement.
Because he's the Millennium Man. The Millennium is upon us.
I got it, yes.
2,000 ways.
He says his night has just begun. I like that he went through all this trouble to goad Nash out of retirement so he could put him back into it. Kevin Nash puts on tape.
Yes. That's the segment.
He was putting it around the cuffs of his shirt that he was wearing. He wasn't actually taping his wrists. He was
It
taping
was a
his
big
shirt.
oversized hockey jersey.
Yes.
I didn't want the sleeves getting everywhere.
I guess.
So Jerry Flynn and Barbarian in their gear meet in the basement to have a fight.
I like this.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. I like
They're in the block.
they're all in the block. They
The
say.
boiler room.
They say they've
brawl.
had a personal issue. They got to settle it here. Okay, fine. So they begin to fight in the boiler room or the loading dock, whatever you want to call it. Tony Schiavone calls this a UFC style matchup,
Yeah.
No.
proving he has never seen a single frame of a UFC show.
Well, to be fair, in the very first UFC, they wanted the referee to not have the ability to stop the match.
Really,
And this was a no referee match.
there was no referee here.
There was no referee to stop this.
So they're having a fight. I thought it was horrible.
It was fine.
Tony says,
I mean, the guy got knocked out with a kick to the chest.
I watched this, and it's going on and on. I'm thinking, this sucks. It's all about ratings and entertainment.
Yeah.
I thought, who would possibly want to watch this? Here's the finish. Flynn pushes him up against the loading bay door. He hits 5 knees to the body. He hits a kick to the body, and the Barbarian is suddenly deceased. It was like in a video game when his life bar runs out. He just falls on his face and doesn't move.
For a kick, baby.
He's not clutching his ribs. He's not gasping for breath. He has been killed.
Man, it's rough.
Which is
Hardcore,
big
baby.
news. So Flynn walks away, and that was that. Mike Tenay interviews Benoit, says he'll win the title.
Asia is walking. Don't miss that one.
I did miss that one. Yeah. Asia versus Kimberly. So Kimberly's terrified of Asia. She's not a wrestler. She doesn't want to do any of this. But she still took the time to get dressed in her fancy gear with the lipstick marks all over it and come out and show her ass for the camera. She got into the ring. True terror.
Yeah, and then Tori, who wanted nothing to do with this.
This is the best.
She wanted nothing to do with any of
The
this.
gimmick is Tori doesn't want to be in a segment. She
Nope.
doesn't want to be in her bikini.
Nope.
She's all of this is something she's being forced to do by her big, cruel, mean boss.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes out of the ramp in her tiny, tiny little bikini. She pouts for 3 seconds and then celebrates. She's a bikini model, everyone.
She's smiling.
It's another
She's
deal.
shaking her body.
Laughing, smiling,
Hey!
dancing, posing. 3 seconds she able to maintain that facade.
This was the best thing on the show.
Well, yeah. So she gets in the ring as if this tiny bikini was not enough. Asia threatens to tear her top off. They had the worst cat fight you ever saw.
No. Second. Nitro Girls last week.
Good call.
Thank you.
And this week.
That was bad too. The one last week was the worst one ever.
Last week was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. So
This was very bad, just slow.
the animals run out to put a jacket over Tori. There's no ref out there, but Kim then attacks Asia. You know, she was afraid before. At this point, out comes David Flair in a referee shirt with a crowbar. Okay, stop. The angle is David Flair hates Kimberly for what she and her husband did to his dad and what she did to him. He wants to kill her with a crowbar. So he comes out here, somehow has finagled his way into being a referee for this match. So Kim sees him and flees, but she gets in the ring, or he gets in the ring, whereupon he is attacked by Asia. Why?
I don't know, but I can explain why he was there, I think.
All right.
Powers that be had an opportunity to have Tori Wilson, David Flair's ex, and Kimberly, who he is stalking, in the ring at the same time, and thought it would be great ratings to send him out there with a crowbar and a ref shirt.
Okay.
I can at least make sense of that. Why Asia attacked David Flair, I got no fucking idea.
I was lost. So David makes a comeback. He almost suplexes her onto a crowbar. Out comes Shane Douglas to attack David.
I literally wrote, I zoned out, what happened to Vinny?
Well, good news.
I'm not kidding.
I am on the ball here. Shane Douglas hits the ring. David swings his crowbar overhead. Shane takes his arm and raises it overhead to block it. The arm that is broken has a big cast on it.
Yes.
David whacks the cast with the crowbar. Shane goes down. The rest of the Revolution comes out and chases David away. So at this point, I tried to do feud math. So Kimberly and DDP are feuding with David Flair. I've already confused myself. The Revolution are feuding with Filthy Animals.
Right.
So Kimberly's feuding with Asia now. So should she and the Filthy Animals be friends?
No.
Who
With the
fucking
Revolution.
cares?
Asia's with Revolution.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
You're looking for logic on this show?
Not even logic. I was trying to figure out who was on whose side.
No one knows.
Thank you.
There's no one's on anybody's side.
Sting answers a knock at his dressing room door, where a man is there to deliver flowers. He says they're from the Total Package. He's sorry. Sting says, I always knew he had a feminine side. And sends the flowers away. He says, tell him I'm going to kick his ass or whatever.
So this is a backstage segment, okay? In some random part of the building. They cut to another random part of the building. Somehow Luger knows exactly how Sting reacted to getting these flowers.
I guess
Liz, what are you going to do about this?
Lex is the one guy who actually watches Nitro backstage.
Goldberg is getting water. Kimberly is fleeing David.
David cuts a promo.
Okay, this was awesome. Kimberly is running her ass out of the building. David is lurching after her with the crowbar. And as she runs away, he looks off and he says, "It won't be that easy at the pay-per-view, sweetheart." Then he turns and he just stares right at the camera. They cut away. I laughed so hard. He is awesomely horrible. It's incredible.
6 days, he says.
He just stares right into the camera.
That's what he did.
Like, don't do that.
Oh, God.
Finally, a good match.
A world title tournament third round match. Scott Hall versus Chris Benoit. Scott Hall, when motivated, was a very good wrestler.
Hey, listen.
Chris Benoit was a great wrestler.
Scott Hall has been drinking.
Mhm.
He's been sitting around looking at Nash in costumes. He's been doing promos. He's been just doing whatever. Crashing cars. He has not been working long matches. No, is my point. Goes in with Chris Benoit. Benoit is not going to slow down for this guy.
No.
Benoit goes at Benoit speed. He drags Hall's ass throughout this entire match. Hall just kept going.
Yeah.
And he was tired.
I'm sure he was.
But he fucking just kept working.
Yeah.
And he worked and he worked and he worked. And finally, Bret Hart and Nash are out there. Nash jumps up on the apron. Benoit goes after him. Hall puts on the... Actually, I got to go back a little bit further. So, Sid hits the ring before any of this happens. And Sid gives Scott Hall a big-ass powerbomb. Leaves him for dead. Benoit goes to make the cover. Then Nash jumps up on the apron. Benoit goes after him. Hall puts the knucks on behind Benoit's back. Benoit turns around. Hall goes to swing. Benoit puts him in the crossface for the win. Kevin Nash, I mean this in the nice way possible, he could be a completely selfish dickhead.
That's the nicest way possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Scott Hall was the most giving guy in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no reason that Scott Hall could have taken the power bomb from the big guy Sid and then laid down and Chris Benoit could have got the pin.
Sure.
He didn't. Instead, he tapped out clean in the middle to the guy's crossface and gave him the win. He worked his ass off. He made the guy look good. He did everything in his power to have a good match and get Benoit over. It was awesome.
There was a lot of bullshit with Nash attacking Benoit on the floor right in front of the ref before all that, but we'll just move on. Yeah, a very good match. The best match of the tournament by leaps and bounds.
Sure.
Longest at 9 minutes and 39 seconds.
Oh, my God.
I did love the very beginning of this match when Hall takes out his toothpick and throws it at Benoit.
Mhm.
So Benoit just blows his nose on him.
Because it's not rocket.
Yeah.
All like picking mucus out of his ab hair.
That's disgusting.
That's what happened.
That's more disgusting than what I read on Amazon.
No.
The announcers are still baffled and blown away that Bill Goldberg has not left the building yet. They can't imagine that anyone would stay in this building any longer than legally necessary. Knight Nate interviews Buff Bagwell. The powers that be have tried everything to bury Buff. It hasn't worked. He's not going to roll over for Jarrett tonight. World title tournament third round match. Billy Kidman versus Bret Hart. So I once watched Bret Hart suplex Vader. Now, there's a lot of leverage and technique to this throw, but at the end, you got to be a big, strong guy to throw a man like Vader around. In this match, Bret Hart grabs William Kidman, former Cruiserweight champion, for a body slam and collapses under his weight.
Yeah, I didn't know about that spot.
What the hell happened?
I don't know.
And
It's
then-
bad ankle.
And then, like 15 seconds later, Bret does a slingshot. Kidman goes flying through space. Lands outside. So the outsiders come out. They molest Tori. Eddie and Conan attack them, get their asses kicked. Meanwhile, in the ring, Billy Kidman tries a Hurricane Rana. Bret turns into a sharpshooter for the submission win at 347.
347. They could have actually had a hell of a match,
Could have.
but it was a bunch of bullshit. Bret looked annoyed going to the back.
Did.
Don't blame the guy. What a waste of his life.
And then during the break, not even like on TV, you had to go. During the break, the outsiders beat up all the filthy animals. Because you got to make the small guys look stupid. Lex goes to the kitchen.
Yeah. Nitro has a kitchen.
There's a kitchen on Nitro. Lex goes up
Not
to
catering.
the kitchen.
A kitchen.
Yeah.
Where you can
He
go
raised the fridge.
and order something. Excuse me, can I get brownies? Oh, sure, Mr. Package.
No. He asked, "Do you have any brownies?" And she just happened to have them.
Now,
Yeah.
these aren't like the cafeteria-style brownies where we'll make a giant cake and cut little things. She has a plate of brownies that are stacked up in a specific pattern, ready to go.
Mhm.
He says, "Thank you, I've got a sweet tooth," and he leaves. Knife Nate interviews Jarrett. He's the chosen one, blah, blah, blah. World title tournament third round match. I'm going to start with this match went 2 minutes and 5 seconds, okay? Here's what happened in those 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Creative Control come out. Buff attacks one of them, the other slides a guitar into the ring. Buff fights all three men for a while as the ref is tying his shoe. Buff hits one of the Creative Control with a guitar, but Jeff Jarrett then hits the stroke, makes a cover. The ref dives across the pile. There's chunks of guitar all over the ring. The referee counts 3.
That's heel ref. They're trying to screw Bagwell. Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah. This was the first time they ever called it the stroke.
Jeff and the referee hugged after the match.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Dustin Rhodes attacked Jarrett in Creative Control and helped Marcus clear the ring. Kevin Nash walked in his locker room.
Goldberg got a surge.
Goldberg headbutted a soda machine, got a free surge.
Luger spiked brownies. Revolution was with Tenay.
Spiked them with laxatives.
Yes. So, Mike Tenay is interviewing Wilson. Shane Douglas announces we have booked a House of Pain match with the Filthy Animals.
Yes.
Puts it over. It's all about pain and misery, torture, blah, blah, blah. Never actually says what the match is.
Well, at the beginning of the show, they actually explained this. It is a cage match where you must chain your opponents to the cage. What?
I don't know.
Well, it's to get that ECW angle that Raven and Tommy Dreamer did.
This was not as cool as that.
No.
Janitor Hacksaw takes the brownies from the delivery guy, promises to take them to Sting, begins to eat them instead.
Trouble.
Revolution versus Filthy Animals in a House of Pain
House of
match.
Pain.
So yes, there's handcuffs all over the cage, and you have to handcuff each person's hands and legs. It turns out it's a tag team match.
Can I explain this match just very quickly so we don't waste everyone's time? So, they chained Guerrero to the cage, then they chained Conan. Am I missing anything?
No.
That is exactly
Well,
what happened.
that happened.
Although there was also a moment where as Guerrero was being shackled, okay, Tony Schiavone says, I'm not sure he's completely shackled. His fucking arms and legs are shackled. There's only 2 other appendages. I'm not trying to be lewd here, okay? His head and his dick. Like, what more were they waiting for here?
Dong?
His PVC dong.
Are we certain his legs got shackled?
I guess later one leg hadn't been completely shackled. But for fuck's sake, he's hanging from the side of the fucking
The
cage.
finish of the match was Shane Douglas, who was on commentary, hits the ring and hits a guy, and it was a DQ.
No.
I thought so. Craig, what do you think?
I thought it was a DQ.
I'm pretty sure the House of Pain cage match ended in a DQ to running. Now, I want to talk about Shane here before you.
I thought that both guys got shackled and it was over.
They both were partially shackled for sure. So Shane comes out to do commentary, and he's sitting next down. He's sitting down next to Tony Schiavone. I don't know why I added to Tony, but Tony's taking zero shit from this man tonight. Shane sits down and he's all the.
Well, after the Oklahoma thing, he was just like, "Fuck."
He may have been. He's cracking jokes about Ross then too. Shane sits down. This show took a step up in the ratings. It did. Then Shane's caught off guard by that. He's silent for a while. He goes on. We developed this match for a particular reason. To take out the Filthy Animals once and for all. And Tony says, no. Just making the biggest fool out of Shane. And finally, Tony says to Shane, quote, you are like every other mark on the internet who thinks they can call this thing.
Wow.
Yes. So, yeah, they're all beaten up, Conan and Eddie. Ray tries to make the save, and again, I'm a fair man. So, the cage is a roof on it, I didn't know why, and the only reason any of this happened was this final spot. They hang a handcuff from the top of the cage, hang it around Ray's ankle, so his, shoulders are on the mat, but his leg and body are hanging in the air, and they all start attacking him. That was original, and that looked really cool. Way to go. World title tournament match, total package versus Sting. Doing this match. 2 minutes in.
Well, Sting comes out and Luger is baffled. Why is he here?
Liz,
what happened to the brownies?
Yes.
They have a match. What the fuck happened here?
All right,
Can you help me?
I will do my best. Sting puts Lex in the Scorpion.
Yeah.
Lex trips the referee. The referee is down like he's been shot.
Yes.
Liz hits the ring, sprays mace in Sting's eyes.
Yes.
So Lex, with Sting blinded, the referee still down, says, I shall put this man in my human torture rack submission hold.
Why not?
Holding Sting up in the air. Meng runs down.
Yeah.
Meng runs down.
Hey, you know what? I'll give him credit. Luger was making fun of Ming a few weeks ago.
Did he?
Yep.
I can't remember him
It absolutely happened.
Getting
this
Meng-
actually tied in a storyline.
getting Meng to get mad at Jarrett.
Yeah.
So I guess Meng
was
watches
ridiculing him.
Meng watches Nitro too. All right. So Meng hits the ring, does his kata next to Lex, puts him in the death grip, puts him out. Liz tries to mace Meng. Meng scares her. She flees. Meng puts Sting on top of Lex. Sting wins at 5:08.
And God, did the place go crazy for Sting basically dying to win.
Yes.
This is a hot crowd. They should have never left this town.
There's one point they're brawling on the floor, and excuse me, Luger's trying to get away. Sting grabs him around the waist, and he's like throwing him back in the ring, and Luger just goes, "Help me, Bobby!"
Funny Lex is funny. Backstage, Hacksaw Duggan used the bathroom. Backstage, Goldberg left a room.
Thank you for leaving it at that.
Sid walking, Nash walking, Goldberg walking. Then we had a street fight.
Sid Vicious versus Kevin Nash. They brawled. It sucked.
Excuse me. Sid versus Nash in a street fight.
That's correct.
You know what? It's not just that there was a DQ. Although that is fucking dumb. They're having a street fight. And, by the way, anybody listening to this, if you have not watched it yet, please give me an animated gif of Sid double sledge off the announce table. Particularly his setup. So, they went on forever. Like, of all the matches to give time to, Nash versus Sid. So, Sid finally hits a big boot. He goes for the power bomb. Scott Hall hits the ring right in front of the referee. Goes after Sid. I wrote these words, okay? It's a street fight, so theoretically no DQ. But who knows in WCW? Then I wrote, turns out it wasn't a DQ! Exclamation point. Fans are chanting for Goldberg. Goldberg hits the ring. He spears both guys. And this motherfucker, this fucking referee, rings the fucking bell.
Right.
A disqualification. I wrote, and again, I say this with all love, fuck you, WCW. Die a brutal death and never come back. That's what I thought.
Well, they did.
I saw that fucking finish.
Good news.
God damn it! You can't have a DQ in a street fight!
Especially when you're disqualifying for something that someone else did 2 minutes earlier.
Yes!
It's not a DQ. Again, you're contradicting yourself. So Goldberg clears the ring. Sid attacks Goldberg, who just saved him. Goldberg hits a big power slam. Sid totally no-sells it. Hits a nut shot, grabs a chair. Bret Hart makes a save. That's the go-home show for the pay-per-view. I had to go back and check.
Yes.
Like, the only thing booked on this pay-per-view is a stupid tournament, the final four of the tournament. I could remember off the top of my head, Bret was in it. Well, I remember the finals just because I think
Bret and Benoit are in it,
Yes.
and Jarrett.
I could not remember the other two guys. I had to go back and check. It's Jeff Jarrett and Sting.
Sting, that's right. We should know that because they all won their matches on this show.
You would think we would know that. It shouldn't be that hard to keep track of.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who win or lose.
All right. Would you like to do your finish report first, or should I count segments?
Why don't I do my finish report? You can count while I do it.
I want to count live.
I see. Well, whichever. I don't care then.
All right, let's do your music first.
All right.
Let's get that out of the way.
The finishes on this show were pin in a hardcore match, clean pin in a handicap match, pin after motorboating, DQ in a pinata on a pole match, pin in a handicap match by 2 guys against 4, and the 2 guys couldn't even get along with each other, no finish due to powerbomb through stage, knockout in basement fight, submission after shenanigans, clean submission, pin after various shenanigans, DQ in a House of Pain cage match, pin after interference, DQ due to run-in after a run-in that was not a DQ.
Wait for the day we get through that song twice.
Oh,
All right, here's your segment count, everybody. I may have missed one or two. I did my damnedest to count every single one. There were 2 that you named that I think I missed. So this, I believe, is the official count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
Segment sponsored
21,
by Sesame Street.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, whoa, 44, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60! 61!
61 seconds.
Your pride.
61.
The highest you ever got
Mother
before.
fucking segments on a single 3-hour television show. How? Do we need to see that many people walking?
That's 20 segments an hour. It's 3 minutes a second.
There's 3 hours of Nitro. 60.
That's a new record.
That is 57 last week, as I remember.
50 something, yeah.
It was 57.
Yep.
Speeded by 4 fucking segments. 61 divided by 3, 20 segments per hour. A segment on average every 3 minutes. Less.
Could be commercials.
Oh, fuck commercials. A segment every 2 minutes.
What a terrible show.
This was a really bad show, but it was not as bad as last week.
Last week's was worse.
All right, everybody, that's it. We're going to wrap it up here for today. There's lots of stuff up on the front page. Much more to come. Watch SmackDown. Apparently, lots of stuff happened. New champions, changes to Survivor Series. We'll talk about that with Filthy Tom tomorrow. He's back. Observer Live, Observer Radio. Lots of great stuff. Check it out. That's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.